Welcome to Design Dreams. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to make dynamic responsive tables with auto layout in Figma, of course. And the thing is, tables are one of the most commonly used components in UI design, and there are chances that you will be making different types of tables with varying complexities. Of course, you can download them from communities, that's the easier path, but you as a designer should know how to make these tables from scratch, okay? Because that's going to help you, give you more freedom and creativity to be able to make any table that any scenario that might require, okay? And of course, you can also then apply these principles to tables that you already have created for yourself. So let's begin. First up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press T to enable text and type cell here and press escape to get out of my text, and then I'm going to press Shift A to make it into auto layout. I'm going to call this particular cell or this particular auto layout as cell, or let's just rather call it table cell. Okay, that's the basic unit of a table that we'll be using to expand upon and create any sort of table we want. Okay, and then I'm going to use one of my plugins called Iconify. You can use any icon if you want, and I'm going to drag it into my Figma and close it, and then let me just reposition my arrow, and then I'm going to drag this arrow or this icon into my table cell. Okay, once it's in the table cell, I'm going to give it a fill of white and then the gap as auto. So what this is doing, it is creating a cell which has a text and an icon. Okay, and once this is ready, I'm going to create it into a component. To create it into a component, all I need to do is press Ctrl Alt K or just click this particular icon. Okay, now it is converted into table cell, and then I'm going to make a variant of this cell. To do that, all I need to do is press this particular button called add variant, click it, and we have a second variant, and let's just call the first variant as the header, okay, and the second variant as the table cell. Okay, or we can rename the first as header cell. So that's the header part, and then header is always bold. Let's just make it bold. And for the main table component, we don't need the icon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this icon and make it invisible. I'm not going to delete it, I'm simply going to make it invisible, and then change the gap to 10 pixels, or actually let's just give it a padding to our both the cells as 16 pixels. Of course, you can play around with the paddings and the visual aspects of it, but for now just keep it 16. Okay, and so we have 16 pixels, and we're going to give the gap as 16 pixels as well. So our header unit and the main table cell is now ready, and all will be using these two to make two types of tables. One is a row based table and one is a column based table. Okay, you will see what is the difference between both. First up, let's just take instance of the header and make another copy of the instance by pressing Alt and drag, and then Shift A to make it onto an auto layout, and let's just call it table row, and this is the row approach. Okay, table row. So one table row is ready. I'm going to again select these two cells and come to their horizontal resizing, and I'm going to do fill container, and this is going to help us make it responsive. Okay, I'm going to drag it all the way like that and select one of these and press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. As you can see, my table row is now responsive. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to make a copy by pressing Alt drag and then pressing Shift A to make it now into a proper table, and then I'm going to rename this auto layout add as table. Once that's done, select, double click and select your cells in the second row, and then you're going to change the variant from header cell to table cell. Okay, and then all you need to do is press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. Your table is now ready. One thing that you must realize is we need some sort of divider between the cells. To do that, just select both your components and give them a stroke. Okay, once you give them a stroke, you will see they automatically have the borders, but however I only want it on one side, so I'm going to select stroke per side and select right side in this case, and then all I need to do is let me just change the color to something lighter, okay, so that it's not overwhelming. And of course you can play around the visuals if you want. If you want them to be all borders all the side, you can do that as well. And for the table cell, from the table header, what I'm going to do is let's just give it another stroke. Okay, and this time this stroke, actually let's just give 2 side strokes by doing it custom. Okay, and in the custom we're going to give a right side stroke of 1 pixel and the bottom of 1 pixel as well. There you have it. So your table has started looking like a proper table now. Just by making changes to your components, you have much larger table that you have now created. Now this was the row approach, okay, to make a table. Now let's just see the column approach. What is the column approach? In the column approach, I'm going to again select my take instance of my header cell, and then I'm going to take an instance of my table cell. Okay, select these two and press Shift A, and then let's just call it table column. So once that's done in the auto layout, let's just decrease the gap to 0. Okay, and then select your cell and press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. Actually, before you do Ctrl D, just make sure by selecting these two, the resizing is fill container. Okay, and then press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, so you can do as many you want. And then you select table column and make a copy, and then select these two and press Shift A and make it into a table. And then all you need to do is press Ctrl D, Ctrl D. You have a responsive table out of the box, which is sort of customizable. Now if I stretch, it is not stretching because I need to give my rows the property of fill container. So once that's done, my table is now completely responsive and dynamic the way I want to change it. Okay, and also flexible. So one thing, the difference between these two approaches, this is the cell approach and this is the column approach. I find that the column approach seems to be much more flexible and much more adaptable, because let's say you have this particular, in this particular row, let me just demonstrate by changing its color. Okay, let's say you have this cell, this row, and you're showing your UI, and someone suggests that this row needs to be in the first place. So what you do is you simply select your row and then just press arrow, and you can position them as you want, right? So that's how you make your tables smartly with Figma. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial useful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.